Alright, fellow collectors, this is Optical 20 once again for another video review of, this time, Hot Toys The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Hot Toys MMS 244. I originally have the first Amazing Spider-Man and doesn't really have any intentions of buying this one, but you know, seeing as far as my history is concerned, I guess this is one of the more viewed ones, this and the Wolverine, so I decided, you know what, why not jump on this. It looks a bit different than the first one, so here we go. So as usual, we're gonna start off with a box. I like this design, although I like the first one better. Pretty minimalistic, and I think they kind of captured this this pose, so to speak, because they included those hands now, those kind of like, I don't want to call it the Iron Man hands, but you know, the kind of like the landing pose hands. At the back of the box, kind of different than the first one. It doesn't have the image anymore. Some, you know, pretty minimalistic approach here. Just a red background with some webbing on it. It says Spider-Man. You see the credits on the back, and it's also the normal, you know, shoebox type of box. You just remove it, just like this one. And it has the same cutout as the first Amazing Spider-Man, you know, kind of like when you take this part off. I do really like the inlay though. Look at that image right there. The one thing that is going on for this figure is it does represent the comic book really well. You know, it does have this big eyes, and I guess on the inlay it does represent that really good. This is not the exclusive version, so we're not gonna get the canister. You know, I'm not really gonna cry about that small canister though. Yep, it's on waitlist right now in Sideshow. So if you want to go on a waitlist, you could still. You know, that's your chance to pick it up. But you know what? This is. I don't think that's a big deal at all. You know, Spider-Man. This is the instruction manual. Go ahead and read it. There's some good information on it. And what made me pick up this figure, honestly, is not only the costume, but this new hand system that they integrated. I'm not, you know what, I really do like it. I'm not sure if this is going to work on other characters. So basically what you see here is not the full hand. It's kind of like the half hand with two holes in it and a magnet in the middle. So it's really easy to swap out hands, and it's really easy to store as well, because, you know, you don't have this big gigantic things where hands are normally not gigantic, but they do, you know, there's a lot, they take up a lot of space, they rub off on each other. But yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work out on a regular figure. You know, it comes with a bunch of hands. This is the kind of leaning towards the ground hands. You can see it just stands on its own, and for the most part it works really well. And this is the web holding hands, you know, when he's trying to move from one web to another. That's pretty good right there. You pretty much saw these hands if you had the Spider-Man figure before. So they're basically the same, you know, sets of hands, although it's been executed a bit differently. And I've seen on some members that some reviews that the of course, Hot Toys quality issues again. One problem I can see here is the magnet falling off, and I've seen that a bunch of times, you know, watching a bit of reviews. But so far on mine, it hasn't. I guess this is the megaphone, the bullhorn holding hands. So there's some, you know, some good quality hands in here. This is the bullhorn, yeah. So it comes with a decent amount of accessories. This bullhorn right here is nicely painted. It has this powder blue, and it's movie accurate. See here, nothing too special though. I mean, this is the case where, if you watch my Wolverine reviews, I've ranted about it not having much accessories. This one has a bunch of accessories, unlike the Wolverine, and it's priced lower than Wolverine, I guess because it doesn't have the likeness of Andrew Garfield, so they don't really have to pay the actor. So that's why I guess they were, to price it the way they did, they gotta include some accessories. The only problem I do have is I don't really like the accessories. I'd rather have them slash the price to, let's say, $180 instead of pricing at $230 and not include these accessories. Maybe just the dynamic stand, I don't know. I mean, they look nice. I just don't see myself displaying him, let's say, with this beanie, or maybe once or twice with the bullhorn. He does come with this nice scarf, which I don't know if I'm gonna use it on any other figures. Maybe if I'm gonna bash a Peter Parker, perhaps, because I do have the Amazing Spider-Man 1. I guess that was the reasoning behind it, but at the same time, you still have to buy some, some decent clothing. Let's say you gotta buy him pants and whatnot, so it's not all included in here. They just gave you, some accessories like this vest. It's quality vest. It gives you that Marty McFly-ish type. I don't know why I put it so close to the camera. Here you go. I guess I'm adjusting it at that time. It's a nice leathery, or I guess leather feel to it. It does have wires on the corners, and I finally found the technique here to push the zippers, because I was trying to hold on to the handle before and I can't get a grasp on it because it's so small. But yeah, it opens up. You can close it back down as well. Like I said, maybe the good combination is this and a hoodie from, but at the same time, it doesn't make any sense. If you can buy a hoodie. Yeah, but the bottom part is wired. You see the inside is kind of moss gray. This is one accessory that I can see myself using if I ever bash a Peter Parker. The leather, or the full leather bottom, really JanSport type like. I can remember my classmate from college. He does have one of these bags. It's pretty cool. I tried adjusting the it's a bit loose. I guess mine is. If you leave it as it is, you just try to put it on a figure. Maybe you need to adjust the two sides, I don't know, just to make it fit a bit more. And he comes with two, I guess, web slinging webs and two web shooting webs. Yeah, I don't know how you call that. It's a bit different now. It doesn't have the if you got used to the old Spider-Man, it does have the pegs on the inside. This one doesn't. It simply attaches to his I don't know what you call that, his web mechanism, shooter, web shooter. There you go. This one does not come with a plastic. I'm a bit disappointed. The Amazing Spider-Man Plaque, because normally they do the clear plastic so it doesn't get scratched, and I'll leave it on there just in case I want to sell the figure in the future, but this one doesn't. So I guess I just have to leave it as it is. I don't think it's gonna get scratched or anything, but still. It has a nice, it's detachable. It's it's the regular, what do you call that, dynamic figure stand. You can see the design there. It's removable, because on the special edition you can swap it out. It's not really a big deal to me as well. It's made out of carton, so I guess you can print out whatever you want. So let's jump on to the actual figure itself. So this one is made out of two materials. The blue one, it's sort of a rubbery material, and the red one, it's some stretchy fabric, which I think is a good combination, that they use two different materials. If you remember, if you have the Amazing Spider-Man 1, I can say it's made out of one solid material but two different colors. Which is not bad, don't get me wrong. I just like the feel. And I just want to show you how the new part right here, where you just take this off and you can see the two prongs there. On the hand, there's a so you can't accidentally, I guess you could accidentally swap out hands if you're not paying attention, but you can see the magnet there, and there's also a magnet at the bottom of this piece, which right there, you can kind of see it. There you go. So you just attach it like so. It's a bit hard for me because I have this camera that I'm trying to hold. There you go. And I like the seamless look on it if you just put it right, because it goes through the webbing. And if you see his wrist, there's no more visible joints. It still uses the same ball peg inside, but because they stretched out the material to cover those pegs, so it moves around as you move the hand. Unlike the other Spider-Mans, or other figures for that matter, not the Wolverine, because I don't know, I really do like this feature, and I hope they do continue to do this. And you can see the web shooter. Before, once you move the hand, especially on the Amazing Spider-Man 1, because the hand has a ball joint, so it moves independently with the rest of the hand, so his costume stays stagnant. On this one, if you move it around, you can see the web shooter, it moves with him, and because of that, there's no more joints, so you can't do the the webs on the joint anymore. So what you do now is, it's very easy. There's like a slot on the web shooter where this one attaches, so it just attaches like so. I don't have any problems with it so far. It's been okay. I don't know if down the line it's gonna get loose or anything like that. Maybe in the future it should have been magnetized, like there's a small magnet at the bottom to make sure it's secured. I don't know, just an idea, but because even though it does attaches really well, it's still a bit scary, but even though you drop it, it's a web, who cares, but still. Really nicely done. I guess one of the difference, which I'm gonna do a separate video on, between Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the webbing. On the webbing on the other one, it's a bit embossed on the rubber itself. This one, it looks like a separate webbing altogether, so it gives you that I wouldn't say 3D feel, as you can see here when I rotate the figure, but it does have a good feel. Also on the back, I mean, the logo of the spider is obviously different. The first one, it's kind of more cut off. As you can see, the neck post right there, it's the same concept as the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Let's scroll down here. And the material that they used, I guess, is the same material as far as the rubber is concerned as this Amazing Spider-Man 1, because you can do a lot of poses, but it doesn't, it reverts back. I don't want to call it like a memory foam or whatnot, but it kind of feels the same way, because you can leave him in a pose, like a dynamic pose. It doesn't hinder any articulation or whatnot, but it's beautiful. It's a bit thicker than the Wolverine fabric though. I guess the most noticeable difference is the head sculpt. Well, this one, you can see that's the they're trying to hide it as much as they could. There's a lot of issues, I guess, with this figure when it first came out, because it does have the black staining. As you can remember on the first Amazing Spider-Man, it's the shoulder issues. For some reason, the Spider-Man releases always have some issues. But moving on to the head sculpt, this is more of a comic book style, although I did like the first Amazing Spider-Man one. Not only the head sculpt, but the costume altogether, I did like it. But this one is staying more true to the comics. As you can see there, it's nice. It has those big eyes, you can look up or down, you can have good range of movement here. You don't want to make it look up too much, because as you can see, there's a threading right there, so you might break it. I've seen I think it's Optimus Prime's video where he kind of stretched it out and had it open up. I honestly, I do dig this head sculpt. Is it a lot better than the first one? It depends on your choice, it depends on your preference. I do like the first movie, so that's why I got more ties to it, because they did explain how it was done, those eyes. That's why it's kind of, it took it out of some sunglasses, so to speak. So this one, it doesn't really have an explanation to, so to me it's a bit just an homage to the comic book character, which is not bad. As we all know, Spider-Man's now with the MCU, so we might see a different, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a different version of Spider-Man the next time his movie comes out. So whether you pick this one up or not, or you're waiting for the next MCU, this is still a very good figure to represent the comics. And I'm trying to utilize all the accessories in here that they included, not including the bullhorn. But he has one scene where if you remember on the movies, where he was buying some cough medicine or something like that, and so I just made a post like he's sneezing or something. But yeah, this is basically the look that you're gonna get. It's cute, it's different, but at the same time it's very scene specific. It's not even like 3 minutes or not even 2 minutes on the scene. Why they included this, I don't know, maybe because there's not a whole lot to include. Let's be honest, it's Spider-Man, and this is when he has the bullhorn, when he's trying to call out Electro. Yeah, there's really not much of an option, but I would trade all of this accessories to get a Peter Parker head sculpt, a better one, because the first one I'm not really a big fan of, although it does kind of look like Andrew Garfield. but I would trade all those accessories, keep it the same price for a better sculpt. But I guess they don't want to render the older figure kind of obsolete, so they kind of give you an option, because they said you can't remove the head sculpt on this one, but I've seen some, you know, some owners who did, and included in, they put the Andrew Garfield head sculpt in there, and it worked out real well. The seam on the neck is a bit different because obviously it's a different costume, but overall it's okay. And now I'm just utilizing the the dynamic stand. As you can see, you can pull a lot of tight poses with this guy. He has double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, and his costume does not hinder any of his articulation at all. The shoulders, nothing, no issues whatsoever. So yeah, you can do this, or you can stretch out his legs. Obviously you're gonna have some restrictions on his pants because you don't want to stretch it too much because you're gonna rip the pants open. But yep, the only issue that I've seen in the beginning, and I can say this is the second wave of figures because I did call Sideshow before ordering this, so it's a bit concerned, with the staining issues. It's not only in the head sculpt, and it's all over his body. You can sometimes see it on his boots, mostly on the red part. I guess there's like a black fabric underneath all this, the red part. So for some reason there's a stain that's coming up. Luckily on mine, I don't see it as of yet. And I'm trying to shoot this on GoPro, so it's a bit darker. So I do apologize for that. But I just want to show you this new hand. To utilize this new hand, you gotta do this pose. They trick you when they take these pictures that it looks like a landing pose for Iron Man, but he can't really look up because his arm's a bit short. So if you take a picture of him, on the ground, it looks great, from this angle, because that's the angle that they provided you in the pictures, but in reality it doesn't really look like this. So there you go. So if you don't have any Spider-Man figure yet, I would recommend this one instead of the Amazing Spider-Man 1 personally. If you want to see the difference, if you already have the Amazing Spider-Man 1, just watch out. I'm going to create a comparison video between the two. I only want to keep a figure of a character, but on this one I'm going to make an exception because the difference is a big difference. So thank you for watching, guys. So I hope this video helps you out if you're planning to decide to pick him up or not. Click like, subscribe to my videos. It really helps me a lot. And until next time, so see ya.